Hi, everybody. Melissa Barlock here, Senior Executive with SendOutCards, and welcome to our SendOutCards Real Estate webinar. Really excited to be here. We actually have people hopping on from all over the globe, and so far my favorite is from Hawaii. We were just talking about that before I started the recording, and I'm a little bit jealous of Shauna from Hawaii, so maybe I'll have to buy some real estate out there and come visit you. That's actually on my kids' vision board for this year, so that's somewhere that we really want to visit. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedules. I know as entrepreneurs, we've got things going on all the time, and I also understand if you have to hop off, that's fine too, but try and stay on as long as you can. I am recording this webinar, so it will be available for replay. You can go to youtube.com and search Melissa Barlock. And I'll have the recording there, but anybody who's registered for this webinar, I will be sending out a replay as well. So again, if somebody invited you onto the webinar and it wasn't me, please get back to the person who invited you on this webinar if you have additional questions, or maybe you want to, use the SendOutCard system to help leverage your business. Now, this is an information webinar, so I'm hoping that everybody gets some value out of here, whether you decide to partner with SendOutCards or not. I'm all about sharing information, and I truly want people to succeed in anything that they do. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start this webinar, but what I'd like to do before any webinar, is to build rapport. And we all know that with business and being in sales is it's important to build rapport. So I want to share a little bit about me, and how and why am I qualified to be sharing this information with you. So I actually started out, before SendOutCards, I was in corporate sales and marketing for a stainless steel company. And so I had a sales and management job. I was in sales. And in my first fiscal year, I ended up increasing sales over 300%. Now, you may say, well, that doesn't have anything to do with real estate. You were in stainless steel, I'm in real estate. Well, absolutely it does, because what I found out in that sales position was it had nothing to do with the knowledge, and I'm not saying that we don't need to know knowledge, but it had nothing to do with the fact that I knew all, the metal properties of stainless steel, because I was resourceful and I was able to find that information. The fact of the matter was I built strong relationships with all of my clients, and from that, people kept coming back and referring me to their contacts as well. And so that's something that I learned really early on in my sales career. And from there, I ended up meeting the love of my life, and he actually happens to own a manufacturing business. And so we ended up getting married and having kids, and that's where I left my corporate job. I couldn't imagine going back to work and working leaving 6 in the morning, coming back sometimes 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. We had a lot of high-profile clients. So I was, as you know, taking your A clients out to lunch and dinner and Raptors games, and we had, all kinds of things that we arranged for our A clients, and I didn't want to have that lifestyle anymore. So I left my corporate job to stay at home with the kids. And this is when SendOutCards fell in my lap. I actually was introduced to SendOutCards about 5 years ago. And when I initially started, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was thinking of using it as a tool to keep in touch with my friends and my family. And I was thinking of it more from a birthdays, anniversaries, kids' birthdays. I was really in that kind of mommy mode. But what happened was, when I partnered with SendOutCards and I started using the system, my friends started asking me about it and joining. But more interestingly, what happened was my husband, who owns a business, I started getting him to SendOutCards. And so what I realized was, and from my past corporate job and from any other sales training that I've done, is that retention of clients is key. And he didn't really have anything in place to retain his clients. And so I said to him one day, I said, listen, now that I'm doing this SendOutCards thing, I think you should be using SendOutCards as a tool within your business. And any course that I've ever taken, they tell you that you need to appreciate your clients, and handwritten notes are so impactful. Now, I'll be honest with you, my husband was completely against it, and he said, well, why would I bother? He said, business is good. Why would I spend more money on sending out cards and gifts? And I said, well, number one, I want your contacts, and number two, let's do an experiment. And so what happened was, for the next 30 days, I started sending out on his behalf, because again, he was opposed to it. He was kind of thinking that, you know, business was too good, he didn't need anymore, which is not true for anybody. We all can, you know, all of us want more business. So I started sending out cards on his behalf. Thanks for the business, thanks for the opportunity to quote, thanks for the referral. Even if he lost a job, I'd send a card and say, hey, thanks for the opportunity. Hopefully we do better next time. And those cards were the difference that made the difference. Those clients would call him back and say, first of all, hey, John, thanks for the card. Who sends cards anymore? And second of all, we actually haven't given away that opportunity, that quote. And what that card did was it allowed for an additional conversation that never would have happened had he not sent, or me, I sent the card on his behalf, had we not sent that card. And so some of the largest contracts that he's been awarded were because of a card that cost a couple dollars and a couple minutes to send out. And that's what I'm really excited to share with you. So from there, I realized that here, SendOutCards was a company that was bridging that high-tech and personal touch, and basically giving people a way to reach out in kindness, either on a personal or professional level. And so from there, I've had the opportunity to work with business owners all over the world. I've had the amazing opportunity to work with amazing realtors who are absolutely inspiring and motivated, wanting to make a difference. And so this is why I'm here today, to share with you an incredible service that we have called SendOutCards. Now, I love this quote by Harvey Mackay. And those of you who don't know Harvey Mackay, he is a very, very world-famous businessman who's also written a book called Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. And I love this quote that he writes because it's so true to every profession. Short handwritten cards yield long results. In sales, never underestimate the importance of personal gesture. And right at the top of the list of effective personal gestures sits the handwritten card. Always send memorable cards and personal notes when you're reminded of a person. And it seems so simple, but those things that are simple to do, they're simple not to do. And you'll find that the most successful salespeople, and whether you're in real estate, whether you're in, you know, car sales, mortgage, financial, whatever the industry is, those who take that little extra time to write these handwritten notes, they reap large results. And I love this second quote here because it's so true, and I think it's so fitting for the beginning of the year. We all have resolutions, and we know that resolutions are usually broken within the first 7 to 10 days, and statistics show that. But think about this. Good habits are as addictive as bad habits, and a lot more rewarding. So we can all create good habits. So I'm hoping that even if there's a small percentage of people on this webinar, that if you take anything out of this, is to just include one habit, a good habit that you're going to change or do for 2017, and over the course of the year, compounded, you'll see massive results at the end of the year. Now, I came across this. I wanted to do a little bit of research before I kind of dive into this webinar and SendOutCards and all this kind of stuff, but I wanted to really show everybody, you know, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, but I pulled this graph from the Toronto Realty blog. So I was searching, you know, Canadian real estate. I'm a Canadian, so naturally I went to the Canadian Real Estate Board. I went to the actual Toronto Real Estate Board, and I came across this blog. And it's a very, why I took this sample was because the Toronto Real Estate Board is the largest board in all of Canada, and I believe that the Toronto Real Estate Board is 3 times greater or bigger than even the Vancouver board. So I thought it was a good sample for the rest of agents, and probably a good sample globally. And so you'll notice here, and what I thought was interesting, agents become full-time when they sell over 6 properties in a year. Okay, so this is what this is saying here, is typically agents become full-time when they sell over 6 properties per year, which makes sense based on, you know, the cost of living and what you're making on average per sale. Now, it's fascinating to see that this graph represents a full 71.2% of the nearly 34,000 agents who fit into the category. And remember, this is just in Toronto. Okay, so these are all part-timers. Now, what's even more amazing was that a whopping 6,136 agents, or 18% of the Toronto Real Estate Board, did not sell a property last year. Now, think about that. All these agents who are realtors, 18.6% of just the Toronto Real Estate Board did not sell a property last year. Why is that? Now, what's really interesting is this next graph here. Now, these are considered full-time agents. So full-time agents who, selling 7 homes or more per year. And this is a test from last year. And you'll see that this graph is the number of deals the top 1% do per year. Okay, so at the very top of this graph are the group that this guy who has written this blog categorized as the super ultra agents. Now, the elite group consisting of only 7 agents that represents a mere 0.02% of the Toronto Real Estate Board. Okay, now they almost exclusively work as team leaders and they sell over 200 units per year, which is absolutely incredible, but that represents only 7 agents. The next group are the ultra agents. This is what he considers the ultra agents, and this consists of 39 agents or 0.12% of the total Toronto Real Estate Board membership. And they also work as the team leaders and sell between 100 and 200 properties per year. Now, the next category, and I'm not going to go through every single one, but the next category is reserved for quote unquote the super agents who typically sell between 50 and 100 properties per year, while there are nearly 150 agents in this category and they represent only 0.45% of the membership. Now, I really want to focus on the last one here. This is rounding up to the top 1% of agents. They're the 164 agents that are selling between 40 and 50 deals per year. Pretty good, right? Now, what I'm interested in is why is it that there are so little agents doing so much, and how can we push the part-timers into the full-timers? We want to increase sales, we want to increase profits, we want to increase referrals, and that's exactly what SendOutCards is about, because this is such a minute number of people who are actually killing it in real estate. Most people, most realtors are doing it part-time because they're only selling maybe 1 home per month. And I know that's being generous based on this graph, just taking a test sample of the Toronto Real Estate Board. Now, please go to torontorealtyblog.com if you want to go back and reference any more of that material. But I wanted to bring that up because I really wanted people to see a large picture of what's actually going in the real estate market with agents and how many people are actually truly successful, and where do you want to be? Where does your success want to lie? Do you want to be the top 1%, or do you want to fall in the, in the part-time category? So it's completely up to you. Now, what are these people doing that are in the top 1%? And one of the things that we like to focus on is relationship marketing. As we know, it's all about relationships, especially in real estate. So as most of us know, cost of retaining a customer is 10% the cost of acquiring a new one. Okay? So what if I could show you a way of a 5% tweak of improvement of customer retention that's going to equal between 25 and 85% improvement of profitability. And that's usually all it takes. It usually takes about 5% of tweaking something, to improve what you're doing, and usually just a little tweak of consistency every single day, creating those habits, that's going to give you that 25 to 85% improvement of profitability. Would that interest you? Well, yeah, most owners, most entrepreneurs, and most salespeople will say, absolutely, tell me more. Because think about it, the reality is 68% of customer defection is because of perceived indifference. So what does that mean? It typically means that your customers or your clients, they leave because they simply think that you don't care. So, I'm, the agent that sold me the house, I haven't heard from in a while, so I'm just going to go to Sally down the street because I've seen her, she's popped by, or I see her for sale sign all over the neighborhood, so I'm just going to go with her. Or, think of this, the last person that you think of is the first person that you're going to refer. Now, if you're not top of mind, your clients are going to fall into that category of that customer defection, or people simply leaving because they think that you simply don't care. Or maybe are they still in real estate? What are they doing? I haven't heard from them. So you don't want to be in that category. You want to make sure that you're always top of mind. We don't want to take anybody for granted. Just because you sold a house doesn't mean that that's the end of it. In fact, that's just the beginning of a relationship, and that's really what we want to focus on here. Now, I mentioned earlier that I had the amazing opportunity to go to Brian Buffini's Success Tour And, you know, him being one of the top real estate coaches, along with the Tom Ferrys of the world and the Christopher Robbins. But I really love Brian Buffini's success story and his philosophies. And those of you, and I'm sure most of you on the line probably know of Brian Buffini, or even taking his coaching. I know a lot of you are taking his coaching right now. And he really focuses on the calls, the notes, and the pop buys, which are so important, not only in real estate, but truly every other business. So you want to make sure that you're calling your calling your clients and your top 8 clients, on really everybody in your contact list, but more specifically, those notes and those pop buys. I'm going to be obviously focusing on notes, which is where SendOutCards comes in, but it's so important to incorporate all of these things to build a successful, well-rounded business. Now, what I love about Brian Buffini is that he focuses on the relationship, and some of the things that he talked about at this seminar was, you know, something better than social media is being social, right? We want to make sure that we're being social, we're interacting. Now, social media is great, and all these technologies are great, just like email, for example, but we don't want to rely heavily or solely on one particular activity, right? So what we really want to do is we want to work our database. And again, real estate, this is so key. Building those relationships, working your database. You want to work with the ones in your database who are your givers. And I love this because typically we tend to focus on the ones who aren't doing business with us, or we're going after the next sale. You know, as sales professionals, we're always going after that next sale, but forgetting about our current database or our client base. And those are the ones who have already given us business. Those are the ones who are already referring to us. So I love Brian's philosophy when he says, you know, give to the givers. Give to the givers in your database, because those are the ones who are going to give more. You want to go where the fire is, go where the action is, and make sure that we're treating these clients and these people who are already a part of our sphere of influence, treating them like $1 million. Now remember, when we're talking about social media, a lot of businesses, realtors, we send out emails. Now, I'm not saying to stop doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing that's working, continue to do that for sure. But I want you to consider this. 88% of emails go unopened, right? 88% of emails go unopened. So what does that mean? Okay, well, you've got that 12% who are opening them, and of course you want to stay top of mind, but you want to make sure that we're focusing on other avenues as well. And that's where those calls, those notes, and those pop buys come in handy. Now you'll see I pulled some examples right from one of Brian's websites, where he's got those little pop by gifts. In the top right hand corner, you see it says, I need some more friends, right? So cute, super personalized, considered a pop by. You're going to pop by with something like that to one of your clients, your A+ clients, and things like this you can also do with SendOutCards as well. Now the reality is as busy sales professionals, we intend to do all these things, but we don't always have the time to do it. And this is what I want to focus on today, is the fact that SendOutCards, we've come up with a solution for that, to be able to go after that next sale, but maintain the client base that you already have. So reasons to send cards, and I'll show you exactly how the system works, but you know, some people will say, well, how do cards make such a difference? Well, number one, they're personal, right? And of course, we all know within Brian Buffini's system, he has his own, you can actually purchase his system and go through his coaching, and they provide cards. Now, I cannot tell you how many agents that I've talked to that say, yeah, I do Brian Buffini's coaching, but those cards are still sitting on the shelf, right? Why? Because the time that it takes. And I think that he recommends, I think the kit comes with about 50, it's $140 US per month. It comes with 50 cards. You get 100 sheets, items of value, you get a CD podcast, and that doesn't include the postage. So you have to do all the work, you have to do all the writing, you have to do all the stamping, and quite frankly, people, it's time, right? Now, if the cards are just sitting on the shelf, well, then they're not doing any good at all, and that's exactly what I want to show you SendOutCards for, because it's such an incredibly practical tool that is going to help you keep organized and actually get the job done. So reasons to send cards, before I get into showing you how it works. Now think about all these things. So many reasons and times that you can send a card. Number one, following up after listing appointments. Prospects to for sale by owner or expireds. Referral thank yous are huge. Make sure that we're thanking our referrals, because again, those ones are the people who are referring to us, are the ones who are helping us grow our business. I always send at minimal a card, if not a carding gift, to somebody who's sending me a referral, because they're going out of their way to increase my business. I absolutely value people who are my referral partners. Anniversary, birthday reminders, birthday cards. You know, the truth is most people don't receive any type of birthday card on their actual birthday. Yes, we have Facebook, we have social media, and that's great, but it's fleeting. It's not long lasting. And if you're the one person or the top 2 or 3 people that actually send a birthday card, you're going to be memorable. People are going to remember you. And remember, that which you appreciate appreciates, which basically means if you're going to appreciate somebody, they will appreciate you back. And that's the whole law of reciprocity. Other ideas, closing gifts, gift cards you can add to the buyers, also to the sellers. Keeping in touch for agents, graduations, for life events, right? You want to make sure that you're celebrating life events and things that matter to other people. It's not all about business, and we know everything. The key is relationships. Relationship trumps everything, because people are going to do business with you when they know you, they like you, and they trust you. Hands down. That's it. If people don't like you or trust you, they're not going to do business with us. So we want to make sure that we're celebrating life events like those graduations, those weddings, babies, get well, sympathy cards, nice to meet you. And one of the things that I like to do is when I'm going through Facebook, and this is what I use social media for. You know, if you're on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, if you see people in your network, let's say somebody graduated or somebody's grandchild was born, and you have rapport with that person, send them a congratulations card. Maybe take that picture off of Facebook. If you have rapport with them, you don't want to be creepy. You don't want to be stalking anybody. If you have that rapport with somebody, you've got that relationship, take a picture, put it on a card, send them a card and say congratulations. Or somebody's not well, send them, you know, a sympathy card. People, they will never, ever, ever forget that card. And it's so important to keep it a card of gratitude and kindness. People know what you do. Keep the branding on the back. It's not necessary to ask for the referral on the inside of the card. This is when SendOutCards really shines, is when you're really appreciating the other person and paying attention to the other person. And those people will go out of their way to appreciate you. Other ideas, cards after open houses. Open houses are a great way to increase your contact list and your sphere of influence. Colleague thank yous after a transaction. Build relationships with your colleagues, because guess what? They down the road could end up sending you referrals as well. So how are we appreciating our colleagues? Holiday cards, obviously that's a big one. New Year's cards, how are we starting off the new year? Make sure we're sending out those New Year cards. What are your intentions? Adding value to people, and really just working your contact manager and going through your contact manager so that you're always top of mind. And finally, but probably the most important, send a just because card. I actually have my husband send out a couple times per month a card that says, you know, just wanted to let you know that we appreciate you. And he'll send out a card with a pack of brownies, usually like an 8-pack or a 16-pack of brownies. And every single time they do that, one of two things happens. Number one, business increases over the next couple of months, or referrals increase. Because people inherently, when they receive something and truly feel appreciated, they want to give back. It's just the law of nature, and it's so much fun doing it as well. Now, a little bit about SendOutCards. It was actually founded in 2003 by Cody Bateman. You'll see his picture here. And our international headquarters are located in Salt Lake City, and we are a member of the Direct Selling Association. So basically, Cody's goal was to take the greeting card and the gifting business from an offline traditional brick and mortar environment to an online click and order environment, just like Amazon did for books, Netflix did for movies, and iTunes did for music. So these $3 billion companies have been able to collapse the inefficiencies in our marketplace. So in other words, they've made our lives easier. So think about it. All these companies, Amazon has changed the way that we purchase a lot of things. Instead of going to a store, we go online and we order whatever we need from the comfort of our homes. The way that we rent movies, totally different. Netflix allows us to watch movie or TV shows on demand, and iTunes has done the exact same thing for the way that we purchase music. In fact, it's hard to find a music store today. We buy tracks off of albums from our phones and our tablets. No longer do we have to buy that full album. We can just choose that one that we like for 99 cents or $1.99 or whatever it is. Now, SendOutCards is doing the exact same thing in the greeting card and the gifting industry. So today, from the comfort of your home, your office, your phone, your tablet, you know, when you're leaving a listing appointment, doesn't matter where you are, you can create a card and press send. SendOutCards, they're going to do everything for you. You create it, they're going to print it, they're going to stuff it, they're going to stamp it, and they'll mail it directly to the recipient. Okay, so it's really, really, really super simple at the palm of your hand. SendOutCards is the best appreciation and customer retention program in the entire world. We've actually sent out over 140 million greeting cards and over 5 million gifts over the past 12 years. There's no other company that sends more first-class mail than SendOutCards. In fact, we are the largest variable print-on-demand company in the entire world. So we're a huge, huge company. There's actually nobody, Xerox has actually flown into Salt Lake City to see what we're doing so well, because there's no other company that can print a one-off for the low price that we can. There's virtually no competition where that's concerned. Now, you can create these cards right from your computer. So if you're more comfortable with your laptop or your desktop, you can choose, you log on to SendOutCards. Obviously, you create a, you know, you become a customer, you create a package, and I'll show you those at the end. But basically, you'll have access to over 25,000 pre-designed cards right at your fingertips. Okay, so you can click on different categories, much like you were hopping into a Hallmark or a Walmart or wherever you create your cards. It's all at your fingertips. You choose the card you want, and these are called kind of like cardstock or out-of-the-box cards. You can create your own cards as well from scratch. You'll see at the very top, it says create a picture plus card. You can create whatever you want, your own branding, your own pictures. But if you just want to choose a pre-made card from any single category, you can go ahead and do that as well. Or you can do it right from your smartphone. And it doesn't matter if you're an Android user or an iOS user. You can send gratitude and cards from anywhere in the world. And I absolutely love this. The majority of my cards are sent from my iPhone, and it's super, super quick and convenient, and I'm going to get it done. When I'm leaving an appointment, the first thing that I do when I'm in my car is my mobile office and my mobile university. I get everything done in the car. If it's not getting done in the car, it's not getting done, because by the time I get home, got to get the kids, activities, all that kind of stuff. I'm not thinking about sending those cards, so I can do this instantaneously, which is super cool. So we live in a mobile world today. We live in a world of instant gratification. We live in a world where business needs to get done on the go. Now, we do all of these things with our phones. We do our banking, we text, we communicate, our emails, we pay bills. So why not use it as a tool to do business as well? Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you guys today. Now, basically, and this is statistically proven, okay, 80% of all business follow-up is a need to say thank you, it was nice to meet you, or looking forward to working with you. So these are the top 3 cards on business follow-up. This is the top 3 categories where businesses are lacking on. Okay? And this is where SendOutCards came out with a solution with these first impressions kits. So now with the first impressions kit, not only are you going to make a great first impression, but the whole key is a lasting impression. So again, it's great to make that first great impression, but what happens after the sale? What happens after you meet somebody? We want to be lasting. We want people to think of us all the time, anytime some real estate matters come up. We want to make sure that we are the ones that people are referring to. Now, this is a preset campaign that comes in our black signature satin cardstock, or our white signature pearl cardstock. And I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to send one of these cards in less than a minute. Now, it's going to probably take a little more than a minute because I'm talking through it, and I want you guys to understand the brevity of what we have here. But it'll literally, once you're used to it, it'll take you a minute to send a personalized card. So what you're going to do, again, you can do it from your computer, or you can do it right from your phone. Now, again, I love the phone because it's super simple. Apps are easy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download the SendOutCards app. Once you have the app on your phone, you have access to those 25,000 pre-designed cards in every category, or at the very top, you'll see the photo cards. Those photo cards, you can take pictures in like real time, or take pictures from your phone and put those pictures on the card. So imagine, you know, your clients are standing in front of a for sale sign. Take a picture of your client in front of that for sale sign or in front of their home and send them a card that's personally theirs. There's nothing more personal than sending a card with something or one of their biggest assets or biggest purchases that they're going to make. I promise you, those clients will never, ever, ever throw that card out. Or consider this. Imagine one of your clients is, you know, they're downsizing, they're changing homes, they've lived in their home for 20, 30 years, they're super sad to leave, but it's just time to downsize. Well, maybe there's some certain things or items in the house that are really important to them. Snap pictures of them and put them in a card. You can put them in a collage or on the front of the card and send them a thank you card, and I promise you that card will probably be one of those, their very favorite keepsakes and mementos, and it will probably be in the family for generations because people love things about themselves. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the first impressions kits. I'm going to show you campaigns. Now in the bottom where I just clicked on campaigns, you'll see the yellow circle there. You just go ahead and tap on that, and we've got these preset campaigns. These are the signature satin cards, the white and the black satin, and I'm going to go ahead and just tap on new possibilities. So as soon as you click on it, what happens is the card populates. So that's the front of the card, and everything's just swipe and tap. You're going to swipe to the inside left, and once you do that, you're going to see this area where you can tap on it and add a picture. So now you can tap on it and you can take a picture right from your phone, from the cloud, or you can take a picture right on the spot. So again, if you're standing with a client or a friend, or maybe you're just out having fun with friends, take lifestyle pictures. Maybe you're in the golf course and somebody's teeing up, take a picture of them on the golf course. Again, people won't throw out cards that have pictures of them. Okay, so put that in the card there. As soon as you have the picture that you like, you're just going to swipe to the inside right, and that's where you're able to write your message. There is a preset message, but you can override this message with a custom message if you wish. So if you prefer to have your own message, go ahead and do that. And then you can even have it in your own personal handwriting font. So for those people that say, well, Melissa, I like to handwrite my notes. Well, that's fine. That's great. I don't particularly like my handwriting. So, but if you do and you want to have that really personal handwriting font, SendOutCards has a solution for that. You can actually fill in the characters of each letter of the alphabet. SendOutCards will scan it for you, so they need a hard copy. They'll scan it for you, and they'll upload it right into the system for you. So as you're typing or texting or Siriing, it's your physical handwriting font. It is super, super cool and personal. And you'll also see that you can have your own signatures as well. So I don't know any other card that's more personal than this, especially if you have pictures of people or things that are important to them in the card. There's no, I dare you, because I've had other agents challenge me on this and say, well, you know, they say the handwritten notes. Okay, we'll try it. If you don't believe me, just test it out for a month and see what happens, and then come back to me and let me know, because I've had so much experience with this. People love getting cards with their home monitor or their kids or things that are fun. So now you can swipe to the back of the card. Now this is where I highly recommend that you keep your branding on the back. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I encourage you to keep the branding on the back of the card. And I know, you know, in real estate, we're taught to, you know, ask for the referral, but it's not necessary to put it on the inside of the card. Really put your information on the back of the card, and I promise you the cards will be much more impactful, because people will take those cards that are important to them, they'll put them up on the mantle. And people are visual. They'll go up to the cards, they'll pick up the card, flip it over, and that's when conversation is being made. The whole point of the card is to appreciate the other person, because remember, that which you appreciate will appreciate you back, and they will keep those cards longer. Now I want you to think about this, and I do this all the time. You know, I have a super box. I walk to the mailbox, and I kid you not, I get about 25, probably 25 direct mail real estate items in there for mail. And I'll be completely honest with you, when I see this, I watch this, all my other neighbors do the same thing, take the pile and the stack of the direct mail and they put it right in the bin. Now I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but again, it's a numbers game, right? I want you to consider this. When have you walked to the mailbox, received a real physical piece of mail, like a real heartfelt card or a card in an envelope addressed to you? When have you received a card and not opened it? Well, the truth is, you're always going to open it. So therefore, you're getting a 100% open rate. So I'm getting the attention of that person that I'm sending my card to, 100% attention at that moment. And if they like that card, they will take that card. They'll probably show their friends if it's something that's really important to and they really like it, and they'll probably put it up in their office or their mantle, and that card is working for you 24/7. Your business card is on that back, working for you 24/7. I want you to also consider this. When have we ever gone to a networking event or met a business professional? We've, exchanged business cards. When have you ever taken a business card and put it up on a mantle? Well, never. We don't do that, right? Typically, those business cards end up in the wash in the pocket somewhere, unless you're really organized and they go right in the database, okay? So we want to make sure that those cards are long-lasting, and that's where those cards will give back to you tenfold. Now, we also we have a contact management system. So basically, as soon as you've created your card, you want to send the card somewhere. So you're going to choose from your database. Now, you can import your contacts one by one, or you can import hundreds, if not thousands, of contacts as well. And it's super easy to do that. We have a tutorial that can help you do that, or the person who's helping you to get started, if you choose to do so, they'll be able to help you with that as well. Now, you can choose your contact, and as soon as you do that, you just tap on it, and then you can go ahead and submit order. But I want to pause here for a second. When you're adding in your contacts, you can add in birthdays, anniversaries, kids' birthdays, spouses' birthdays, anniversaries, all those kinds of things. You get reminders, and you can set up campaigns, and I'll show you an example of that shortly. You can set up campaigns where these cards are going out automatically throughout the year without you even having to think about it. So it's such an incredible system to keep you organized and top of mind with everybody. Now, you can also add a gift. You'll notice just above where it says submit order, you can go ahead and click on add gift. And from there, you can add anything from brownies, cookies, chocolates, bracelets, baskets. We've got movie night. So, I've seen a lot of agents where they say, just popping by, well, send a card and a movie night basket that has popcorn and chips and all this kind of stuff. So just popping by, or, think of creative ways to reach out to people. And you can add those gifts. There's from every single price point, from a couple dollars to several $100s. And you can really match the level of gift to the level of client that you're sending it to. So you don't have to go and spend thousands of dollars on a whole bunch of items and give the same gift to everybody. You can really customize them and do it really, really cost effectively and efficiently. So if you're just sending the card, you'll go ahead and click submit. As soon as you do that, you'll have your finished product. Now what happens is the SendOutCards, they're going to print it, stuff it, stamp it, and deliver it through the postal service. They're going to do all that work for you, and it's going to arrive at your recipient's place, okay, between 2 to 7 business days to anywhere in the world that has a postal address. So it's an incredible, incredible tool that's going to help you save you time, save you money, keep you organized. And again, you can send one particular card, or you can send multiple cards to a single person. You can send hundreds of cards out to hundreds of different people. It's completely up to you for what you need it for. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple of examples before we finish off here, because this is really exciting. And these are live examples of how other business owners and agents have used SendOutCards to reach out to their database to increase those sales and profits and referrals. And that's what it's all about. It's really about appreciation. And through these cards, every single one of these cards that I'm showing you guys has resulted in a referral. Okay, every single one of these, and this is why I've chosen these cards. Now, this is a Valentine's Day card, and you'll see here it just says, "Dear Kelly, thanks for being a part of my life. I appreciate you and your friendship so much. This is me sending you some love today." Right? So it's Valentine's Day. How do we appreciate people? Think of creative ways to reach out to your database. It doesn't have to say, "I love you." Valentine's Day isn't just for, our spouses or our boyfriends or our girlfriends. Who are people in your life that you appreciate? Right? So I think it's really important to do that. Now, if you wanted to, you could tack on a gift. You could tack on a gift card if you want. It's completely up to you. You get to choose what you want to do with these cards. Here's another example. This is for St. Patrick's Day. At the front of the card, it says, "I'm lucky to have you on my team." Now, think about this. If you have a team of people, well, we want to make sure that our team feels appreciated as well. Because when people feel appreciated, their productivity goes up. So let's make sure that we're appreciating the people who are on our teams as well. And it just says, hi Ashley, today I wanted to make sure that you know that I truly feel lucky to know you and to have you on my team. Right? Something so small, but it ends up making such a big difference. And this particular lady, she actually added we have Lucky Charms. It was just a little charm that was a clover, three-leaf clover, and she put that on the inside of the card. She attached that, and she sent that out to a bunch of people, so I thought it was really cute. Now this one here, this is kind of cool. It says on the outside, if you're feeling stressed, it's time for desserts. Love that card. Super cute, makes you smile. And on the inside, it just says, I'm sending you some healthy vibes and hope that you'll feel better soon. Right? So you can really be creative. You can put somebody's picture in there or just have fun with it, and people will smile. And that's what we want with send out cards. Now, I love this one too. It's not always easy finding business. Sniff, sniff, sniff on the outside. And on the inside, you'll see it says first name. Now, this is our mail merge feature. So you can create a mail merge. So you can send this particular card out to multiple people, and the system is automatically going to take that first name, put it in there for you, so you don't have to keep recreating the card. So it helps you to save time. Okay, so on the inside, it just says, thanks so much for your referral. It's always a great feeling to help. It's always a great feeling to help someone plan their well-deserved vacation. So this lady was actually a travel agent. So I love this because this can be used for any business whatsoever. Now this one here, this was an agent sending to an agent. Just a quick note to let you know how much I appreciate your professionalism and positive attitude. It was a pleasure meeting you. And this card resulted in another referral. So let's appreciate those people that we're working with. If you're doing, you know, you meet people on open houses, or send those other agents, out-of-town agents, create those relationships with other people, and you will find more referrals being passed. This is another one I love. Super simple. This particular agent, he it was a referral that was given to him by another agent that he had sent a card to. And when he asked the agent, you know, why did you think of me, and why did you choose me out of all the other realtors? The agent said, because in my, I think it was like 10 years or 15 years of being in real estate, no other agent has ever sent me a thank you card, let alone a gift. So you were top of mind. And so what happened was this, that agent sent him a referral. And so Michael Paul, he actually went up to meet this particular potential client and took a picture of the front, right? It was just a little shamrock or a little charm St. Patty's Day kind of wreath there. Took a simple picture, went in, met with the client, left, got in his car, and wrote this note right from his phone. Super simple. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's all about the thought. I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to your home. I look forward to seeing you again. Your friend, Michael Paul. And that card, this lady called him up a week later in tears, saying, thank you so much. It was so sweet. She, you know, thank you for thinking of me. By the way, I'm ready to list with you. Okay, so these cards are making a huge impact. Now, what I want to leave you with is kind of a little bit of a story here, and it kind of takes you on a journey of a relationship. And the relationship, this particular agent, these guys are out of Kalamazoo. And they've gone from, before starting SendOutCards, using the SendOutCards program, they were at a 35% referral rate. Okay, so their business was 35% referrals. Now their business is over 98% referrals, and they attribute that to SendOutCards. And so these are some of the things that they do. Now think of your contacts, think of your contact list, think of meeting people. Now this particular person was a contact. A prospect, right? So it went from contact to prospect. So they did, they went to a chamber. They went to a chamber event, and they were helping with a charity, a local charity. So they took pictures and they sent a card. Now what happened was that prospect ended up being a customer and listing with them. So they took a picture of the home, ended up sending them a picture of their home on the front of the card with a little thank you note and a little kind of gift, right? So then after that, that customer, it turned into a friendship. And of course, those clients ended up inviting them to their wedding, where they met all of their friends, right? So now they're widening their contact list, just simply for gratitude. So they're invited to this wedding. They sent them, congratulations. And then they ended up receiving referrals. And that's exactly what happens when you're building relationships and appreciating those relationships. And SendOutCards really allows you to hone in on those relationships and stay top of mind and having something that's long lasting. So of course, they've had multiple referrals from that initial couple, that initial exposure when they went to that chamber event, and they just simply kept in touch. Now from that, they've now been invited to, you know, all of the events, the baptisms, the baby showers, and again, they're celebrating life. They're being included in all of these celebrations, and by being included in all these celebrations, they're now being introduced to all this other contact sphere that never would have happened had they not taken the time to reach out in kindness. And that, my friends, is exactly what we have with SendOutCards, and really honing in on relationships and putting the focus first on the relationship, and business will come after. Now, in closing, I want to show you guys seller campaigns and buyer campaigns. You can create a campaign within SendOutCards. Again, you can do the one-off cards, or you can also create campaigns so that those cards are going out throughout the course of the year. So an example is this. This is a 5-card seller campaign. The total cost with brownies is $24. Without brownies is $5.85. Now, everything's US funds, but it's still way cheaper than what you're going to get if you're in Canada. It's still way cheaper. I actually went to the post office to see how much it would cost to send the same 4-pack of brownies, and it was actually triple the price. So SendOutCards, even with the exchange, is extremely inexpensive. Now you'll notice in the seller campaign, the first card that goes out, and it's a little bit small, but the first card is a thank you with a 4-pack of brownies. It's sent immediately. And then you can schedule the cards to go out. So you want to make sure that you're staying top of mind. Remember, the last person that people think of is the first person that they're going to refer. So you want to make sure you're top of mind. So the next card that they schedule is a keeping in touch. It's sent out May 5th. And then they have a Valentine's postcard sent February 1st, a holiday card December 5th, and then an anniversary card, which would be the anniversary of the day that the person purchased or the buyers purchased, and that will go out a year later or 365 days after that initial card goes out. So it doesn't matter when you send this campaign out. It could be any time throughout the year, and those cards are going to be triggered automatically. So you are automatically top of mind, and you can focus on the next sale, the next person, the pop buys, and all those other things, and you can have the SendOutCard system working for you. Now, there's plans and packages. Depending on how many cards you send, please get back to the person who invited you onto the webinar. They'll gladly help you with which package is best for you, but I'm going to briefly touch on them for you so you know what the system costs if it's something that you are interested in. We have a preferred monthly package, and this includes, it's a $39 subscription, so every single month, $39. This offers you the lowest price point. So I'm actually on this preferred monthly package. So every month I spend $39, and it gives me 100 points. That works out to be about 33 cards. So for that $39, I'm getting 33 cards. Okay? Or it's giving me 7 brownies, depending on what you're sending. If you don't use your points in a given month, they'll roll over from month to month to month. So you're not losing anything. So you can, if you've got higher volume times throughout the year, that's when you can use your points. Now, there's no commitment. You can cancel or pause your subscription at any time. You can also choose a pay-as-you-go option and pay between 43 cents and 66 cents per points, but I never recommend that. Why would you pay more when you can pay less? I highly recommend the preferred monthly package, and you got the lowest price point there. Now, we also have bundle packages. Now, I love these bundles because basically SendOutCards took the top things that people were looking for and put them in bundles for cost savings. Okay, so now the bundle packages, you'll see all of them offer great value, but the marketing, the business bundle, I highly recommend. I typically sell the marketing bundle for a couple of reasons. It's got the most bang for your buck. If you have maybe multiple agents or you want to have multi-user accounts, you might want to consider the business bundle. But basically, the marketing bundle and the business bundle, they both include the first impressions kit, which is exactly what I showed you with those campaigns. Those preset campaigns are included in the marketing bundle and the business bundle. Now, that kit on its own is $249 value on its own. So to me, marketing bundle, business bundle are best value. Now, the personal bundle gives you enough points to send 33 cards or 7 cards and brownies. The marketing bundle will allow you to send 66 cards or 14 cards with brownies, and the business bundle will allow you to send 133 cards or 30 cards with brownies. Now, again, it depends on what you're adding and what you're using your points for. So the person who invited you here will help you choose which bundle is best for you. Now, obviously, when you run out of your points, you can either choose your pay-as-you-go, or what I recommend is the $39 subscription, so you're getting your points every single month, and you can really kind of budget what your marketing is going to be. All right, guys, that's rounding up to our 45 minutes. I went a little bit longer than I intended to, but hopefully I added a little bit of value. It's been so much fun sharing with you guys today. I hope that you got a little insight into relationship marketing, learn maybe some creative ideas on how to create cards, reach out to your contact base, to your sphere of influence. And remember, the most important thing really is relationships. That which you appreciate really does appreciate you back, and we really want you guys to have a successful 2017. And if you're ready to get started, let me be the first to welcome you to this incredible, incredible company. If you have any more questions, please feel free to type them in. I'm going to stop the recording, get to the questions. But if you're a guest on this webinar and I haven't invited you on the webinar, please get back to the person who invited you onto the webinar, and they'll certainly be able to help answer any more questions, or if you're ready to get set up, then they'll be able to help you with that as well. So thank you so much for hopping on, everybody, and have a great day and an amazing, prosperous 2017.